Neon lights fall like shattered galaxies on the edge of the city of the future. Here is the shadow surface of the high-tech paradise, the broken alloy streets, filled with scrapped mechanical parts and flashing advertising screens. The air was filled with the burnt smell of motor oil and electricity, and the giant tower far away cast a long shadow, like an invisible shackle pressing on the shoulders of the bottom layer. Guanyu tightly held the old slug, and in the iron blood drive, the lights on the pedestal flickered and darkened, making a low buzzing sound. The broken claw armor left by this family is as high as 10 meters high, with a surface covered with slapped and welding marks, like a fierce beast hanging from the twilight, barely breathing. Guanyu rubbed his son, and the unbearable past appeared in the sea of brain. 10 years ago, my father lost control in the annual athletic championship, and the Iron Blood silence was at the forefront of the game. The official announcement was an accident, but Guanyu knew the truth, that was the culprit of the Giant Pain family. They manipulated the virus code and damaged the energy core of the Iron Blood number. From this, Guanyu family was the bottom layer. The mother died early and the father was seriously injured. He gritted his teeth and murmured, "Dad, I won't let the Iron Blood numbers stay here. I want to prove that we are not wastes when we are participating in the big game." The sound of the engine was suddenly slammed by a harsh horn. The three-wheeled low-level armor was drawn from the corner of the street, and the fancy bulbs were sprayed with thick laughter. The head-headed one, with the magazine Mad Wolf Help engraved on the armor, the driver poked out his head, wore a cheap enhancement lens, and grinned and shouted, "Hey, boy! This street is our key, open your broken iron jar, otherwise we will report it to you." Guanyu's heart sank. He was just a young man in his 20s and was born by odd jobs. The energy core of the Iron Blood number had long been exhausted, and it was difficult to basically promote it. "Roll open, I'm not interested in playing with you." He responded in a low voice and tried to turn on the machine armor. But the leader of the Crazy Wolf helped laughed, and the armored arm slammed his arm and shot out an electromagnetic network, which rushed into the Iron Blood. "Boy, dare to speak out? Brothers, get on." The electromagnetic network rolled on the iron bloody legs like a silver snake, sparking 4 times, and the driving sensation was violently shaking. Guanyu's head was sweating coldly, and the slug was stuck. The Iron Blood signal system alarm was written by the Iron Blood signal, "There is insufficient energy, the core is over." He cursed and flashed his father's words in his brain, "The Iron Blood signal has a secret, son, keep it." Just as the electromagnetic network was about to tear the armor, a strange blue light burst out from the energy in the chest with Iron Blood. Guanyu widened his eyes. It was originally the exhausted crystal core, and now it was moving like a living creature, injecting a warm current of energy. The system sound in the brain, not mechanical coldness, but low co-bearing, energy core is activated. Goldfinger mode is unlocked. Repair mode is activated. In an instant, the Iron Blood parts were as if they were flattened by invisible hands, and the alloy plates were automatically welded, and the engine sounded loud and powerful. The electromagnetic network disintegrates in the blue light and turns into harmless sparks. Guanyu felt a heat flow into his limbs, and the Iron Blood seemed to be reborn, and a crisp crack sound came from the intersection. What is this?" he murmured, his inferiority in his heart melting like ice and snow, replaced by difficult to repressible excitement. The helping sleeve of the Crazy Wolf was stunned. "What the hell? Why did this broken thing suddenly?" Before he finished speaking, Guanyu pushed the rod hard, the Iron Blood number took a step, and the ground was shocked. The blue light gathered onto the right arm, and the core prompts, "The robotic arm upgrade module is unblocked. The energy cannon is being charged." Guanyu instinctively aimed at a wall blocking the visual line on the street. There was a pile of metal garbage, and it was the hiding place of the gangsters on weekdays. "Try it." He growled and pressed the virtual pulley. Rush! A dazzling blue energy beam was sprayed out from the robotic arm, tearing the air like thunder and shattering the entire wall. The fragments were as heavy as rain. The pedestrians on the road screamed and retreated. Someone shouted, "Oh my God, that's the energy cannon. Where's this kid's skill?" The explosion caused the dust, and the armor that the wild wolf helped was pushed down by the airwaves. The leader crawled out of the driving force, his face turned pale. "Monster, let's go." They fled, leaving the street in a mess. Guanyu gasped and stared at the iron blood plate. The blue light gradually faded, but the core movement still existed. He was heartbroken. It turns out that the iron blood number is not a waste, nor is I. This force can make me change everything. The shackles of inferiority are loose, and replaced by the burning confidence. A figure walked in a silence among the crowd. The old man was wearing oily work clothes, with gray hair and sharp eyes. He patted the legs of the iron blood number, and the sound was loud. "Boy, it's very hard. The carriage of this energy cannon is clean and neat, like a champion driver of that year." Dio, a senior expert in the athletics. "Have you heard of it? Before retirement, I was a legend on the racetrack." Dio smiled and passed a piece of data chips. It just happened that, shocked the entire street. The annual athletics will start immediately and will start in a week's pre-order. You have the potential for the iron blood number. Register and prove that you are not the kind of guy hiding around. Guanyu connected the chip and scanned the content: competition rules, competition information, and defense strategies for virus attacks. His heart beat faster. Big game? But my armor. Don't underestimate yourself. Dio patted his shoulder. "I can see that you have the blood of the Guanyu family. That's why your dad was destroyed that year, but now, the opportunity is here. Go and register and don't let me down." At this time, a crisp sound came from the side. "Wait, the energy fluctuations of this armor are not in opposition. Let me see." A young girl was slamming the crowd, wearing the engineer's tight uniform, with tools hanging around her waist. Her short hair was neat, and her eyes were curious. "I am Jingjing, a mechanic at a nearby repair station. The repair speed just now is a miracle. The energy injected by the core is as pure as 95%. Are the aging parts completely repaired?" Guanyu smiled embarrassedly. It was activated unexpectedly." Jingjing climbed up the iron blood number, the interface line connected to the system, and the data rolled on her tablet like a waterfall. "Wow, the robotic arm module is unblocked? This is the self-adapted upgrade in the story. Boy, you've gotten your baby. The potential of this iron blood number is far beyond the surface. Give me some time, I can optimize it and double the range of the energy cannon." She turned around and blinked at Guanyu. "But you have to ask me to eat the skewers on the street as a cooperation fee." Dio laughed. "Jingjing is a girl with first-class skills, but she loves her. Guanyu, listen to her. In the big game, virus code is a common trick. I will teach you the defense strategy and she will help you upgrade your hardware. If you put on a clan, you may be able to reverse those precious boys." Guanyu looked at them, and a warm current surged in his chest. From small to old age, he was stubborn, but now, some people believe him. "I am so lonely in my heart that I have been planning. I am no longer the inferior side of the person. I want to revive the family and let those rumors be exposed." "Okay, I'll register. Iron blood number, let's go." A few hours later, Guanyu pressed the confirmation key in front of the giant screen in the competition registration center. The system reported, "Party contestants Guanyu, iron blood number, preheat competition qualifications passed." Someone in the crowd said in a private sentence, "I heard that the Giant Pain family's young man has also registered. That guy's armor is a top-level cargo, and no one can defeat the virus attack." Guanyu clenched his fist and looked at the flashing lights of the racetrack. The shadow has arrived, but his iron blood is waiting to be released. Terms, 1287. The preheated racetrack is like a giant beast standing in the front plate, lying under the giant dome on the edge of the city. The air was filled with the smell of electricity and the burning metal fragrance. Tens of thousands of people on the audience were filled with the floating stands, and the sound of shouting rolled like thunder, mixed with the low-frequency buzzing of the energy field, making Guanyu's eardrums slightly bleached. In the iron blood drive, safety belts made his chest swell. Outside the window was a flashing starting line, and the red light swept over, announcing that the preheating period was officially opened. Guanyu took a deep breath, tightly squeezing the rod. The excitement of the previous article has not faded, and is now replaced by a strange pressure. This is his first real gunshot. Although the iron blood number is supported by the core, he is still the bottom boy in the face of those flashing advanced armor. Guanyu, keep the rhythm. The primary obstacles of the race are laser networks and mechanical traps. Don't be impatient. Dio's voice came from the communication device. The sand was stable and gentle like old wine. Remember what I taught you: virus prevention first, obstacle second. The core energy response will help you make a prediction and believe it. The iron blood engine starts, and the tracks crush the alloy ground of the track, making a crunchy friction sound. The racetrack is 100 meters wide, and the first link ahead is a high-speed rotating laser network, which connects countless red wires to form a network. The rotation speed is so fast that the air is distorted, and the armor is melted when touched. Guanyu's heartbeat accelerated. He pushed up the oil door, the iron blood numerals rose, and the test pictures shuttled through the web. But the gap between the laser network was as narrow as a stair. A red light shone through his left arm, sparking 4 times. The pain was transmitted through the nerve links into his brain, making him grit his teeth and cut. Die, it's too fast. There was a burst of laughter in the audience, and someone shouted, "Look at that broken piece of goods! Iron blood number? It sounds like an exhibit in the museum." Guanyu glanced at the holographic screen. On the ranking list, he was at the bottom of the armor, followed by several low-level opponents, but the one who was leading was the big thing, Thunder King. Giant Pain's armor is 20 meters high, covered with a flash nanolayer surface, a double-armed hanging particle cannon, and the engine sprays the blue tail flame, as domineering as a thunderbolt. Giant Pain's voice sounded from the open channel, full of ridicule. "Yeah, isn't this Guanyu's old age? Open your dad's coffin board to make it hot? Haha, it's just a preheating game, don't lose people. Let me teach you what elimination is." As the voice fell, the Thunder King's communication module flashed, and a system of invisible virus codes penetrated into the iron blood numbers like a ghost. The warning masterpiece: virus invasion. The energy core is slightly stormed, and the mechanical arm should be delayed by 20%. Guanyu's vision was blurry, and the slug became irritated. The iron blood number stumbled, hitting the edge of the laser network, and the armor on his right shoulder melted a charred crack, which made him sweat heavily. Bastard. This virus. Dad was like that year. Panic was like a cold touching hand. He imagined that the moment when his father was in a madman, his sense of powerlessness and inferiority surged again. "I can't do it, I'm just a fake, can this core save me?" But just as the system was about to collapse, the blue light in the energy core activated again, injecting a warm feedback current, directly reaching the nerve link. Guanyu's flashing data flow in the brain, prediction of barrier junctions, and optimization of energy distribution. The appropriate mode is activated. The robot arm is upgraded and injected, and the energy cannon is charged. He felt his body and the armor melt into one. In panic, a clear appearance: "This is not air, it is power." He tugged and fucked the rod, his body flickered from the side of the iron blood, and the blue light gathered in his right arm. The alloy joint emitted a low buzz, and the upgraded module repaired and extended like blood circulation. "Go to your laser network." Guanyu growled and pressed the trigger. The energy cannon was fired, and a blue beam of light cuts the air like a sharp sword, accurately hitting the rotation core of the laser network. The explosion sounded deafening, and the red wires disintegrated into 4 rains of fire, and the fragments fell like meteors. The iron blood stormed over the dead trap. Those mechanical claws popped out from the ground, squirting into the air and making a hissing sound, but Guanyu had already predicted that the snatch would be easily crushed. The audience was in a state of excitement. Oh my god. Did the broken armor shoot out the energy cannon? Turn back. Turn back. As he cried like a tide, Guanyu's ranking rose, and sweat mixed with excitement and slid down the limit. Giant Pain's Thunder King approaches, the virus attack adds up, and the code on the screen of the iron blood number crawls like a claw. Boy, have you played? Your system is mine. Giant Pain laughed, his armor danced, creating more mechanical traps, the ground cracked, and the steel spikes rose like a forest of spears. Guanyu's panic has not completely subsided, but the core reaction has made him calm down. He switched to the helper channel, Jingjing. The virus invades, I can't hold it anymore. At the remote repair station, Jingjing's voice suddenly rose, and the background was the sound of tool collision. Stop it. I'm on the link. Wow, this virus is a high-end stock, the Giant Pain family's patent code. Give me 30 seconds, I'll optimize the firewall. Her fingers danced on the holographic keyboard, and the data flowed like a silver river. Guanyu felt a new energy injected into the system, the core and her optimized fusion, and the virus code began to backfire. Delete mode is unlocked, and the counterattack is activated. Now, Guanyu. Aim at his assistant module. Jingjing shouted. Guanyu locked the wings of the Thunder King, and there was the weakness of the communication antenna flash. The energy cannon was recharged, and this time it injected the virus's anti-surge. Take this trick. He pulled the trigger, the beam hit, and Giant Pain's system alarm was harsh. Help collapse. The virus backfires. The Thunder King staggered, his mechanical arm lost control and swung, hitting his own trap, and the steel pierced through the shell, sparking 4 sparks. Giant Pain cursed and said, "Die it." Why, impossible. He retreated, his ranking dropped, and the audience burst into laughter. The Thunder King has fallen. The bottom boy is killing him. At the end of the race, the iron blood numbers stopped and Guanyu was in the seat, gasping. The panic has turned into a certainty, and he felt unfaithful. It turns out that the core is not everything, but it allows me to see my potential. I'm not hiding, but fighting. From the moment of inferiority, I changed. In the communication device, Dio's voice sounded, "Fuck well, boy. Have you remembered the virus prevention strategy? Next time, they will use a shaped code, separate first and then counter. Your adaptability is strong, and the core is to amplify it." Guanyu smiled and said, "Thank you, coach. I will." Jingjing's image popped up, and she wiped the sweat from the bottom of her head and blinked. Happy cooperation? Your core is so amazing, it seems to have your own will. Next time I get hot, I will optimize myself. Trust me, we can go further. Guanyu looked at her smile and a warm feeling surged. From strangers to partners, this trust came suddenly, and it was real. Well, thank you, Jingjing. Without you, I would have been eliminated. The preliminary erectile dysfunction took root in the aftermath of this game. The holographic screen flash, the preheating competition ended, and the Guanyu level team competition. On the ranking list, his name is at the forefront, but a hidden story pops up. Dio private message, be careful, Giant Pain's virus source is not as personal. Behind the competition, there is a big financial group hunching down. Your father's accident that year was their handwriting. The official competition is about to begin, so be ready to open it. Guanyu clenched his fist tightly and looked at the shadow deep in the race. The blue light of the iron blood number flashed slightly, as if responding to his determination. The sound of the official competition is about to be knocked. Number of words, 1248. The lights on the floating stands were shaking like rainstorms, and the shouts of hundreds of thousands of visitors turned into seas, shaking the dome of the competition. The pungent ozone smell of electromagnetic irritation is mixed with the low roar of the remote engine, making Guanyu's skin slightly numb. The track of the group competition is a twisted giant ring-shaped, with countless blue light balls, floating mines floating on the wide alloy road surface. They float like ghosts, and they explode with high-pressure arcs when touched. There is also an electromagnetic storm ahead, and the wild blue-purple snake whips in the air, twisting its vision, examining the limits of every driver. In the iron blood drive, Guanyu adjusts the safety belt, and the blue light slight moves slightly from the energy core, reflecting his tight face. The victory of the preheated game is still in his ears, but now, he is facing a mid-level group, 5 motor armors, including Giant Pain's Thunder King and 3 mid-level rivals in the alliance. Their motor armors are flashing on the surface of the sponsor's magazine, like a group of slapped wolves staring at the basketball. Guanyu, take a deep breath. The road information shows that there is a hidden acceleration track behind the storm, and use it to traverse the mines. Dio's voice came from the communication device, with the background of the buzzing sound of the repair station, as stable as a mystery. Kinping will not fight alone, be careful of joint attacks. Your core durability has been improved and trust yourself. Guanyu points the head, the slug slides in the palm of the palm, the iron blood number's footprint starts, and the blue tail flame is sprayed, and it penetrates into the starting line. The red light swept over, and the holographic countercalling time reached 0, the competition is starting. The audience burst into thunderous sounds. Guanyu's heartbeat was synchronized with the engine, and a silky watch flashed in his heart. The preheating competition is the air, this time it is a real knife and a real gun. Am I ready? But he quickly threw his head away, and the iron blood slammed into the track, and the alloy ground shook under his feet. In front, 3 middle-level armors have formed a clamping force. A reinstalled iron wall slams the middle, and both arms extend the energy shield. On both sides are agile shadow blades, their pushers emit flames, and the side wings slam the laser. Behind the Thunder King Hall and Giant Pain, the big body is like a mountain pressing, and the particle cannon is ready to be developed. Ha, Guanyu, you really dare to come here. Giant Pain's ridicule was filled with contempt from the public channel. It's just a small group competition. We 14 members will give you a class, the finale of the bottom-level garbage. Virus, launch. In an instant, for invisible data flowed into the iron blood system like a poisonous snake. The police harsh masterpiece, multivirus invasion. Energy fluctuations are fierce, and the durability of the robotic arm is reduced by 50%. Guanyu's vision was twisted, and the maneuvering rod was stuck in the mud. The iron blood number was stumbled, and the right arm's choke made a sad friction sound. The floating mines approached, and the blue balls floated, emitting a deep buzz, and the arc jumped on the surface, as if countless eyes were staring at him. The electromagnetic storm whips the edge of the raceway, sparks in the air are 4 times, and the heat waves are scattered, which makes the driving temperature rise. Guanyu's sweat slid into his eyes, and panic surged again. This joint attack was too fierce. Dad was so suppressed that year. Will I repeat the overturn? But the blue light at the core of the energy suddenly exploded, and it was as violent as a heart. Automatic upgrade mode starts, the mechanical arm is durable and strengthened, and the energy control is unlocked. A warm current penetrates the nerve link, and Guanyu feels that his body and the armor melt into one, and the virus's interference recedes like a tide. He instinctively adjusted the energy flow, no longer a blind dependence, but actively guided the blue light to gather in his right arm. The alloy plate automatically reinforced, and a crisp click sound came from the joint. This feeling. I can control it. He was so lonely that he had passed away. From the panic of a novice to the control of this moment, he changed, and his shadow of inferiority was replaced by the fire of confidence. Guanyu. The virus is added multiple times. I am entering. Jingjing's voice suddenly rose, and the communication screen popped up her image. Her short hair was erect, her eyes were staring at the holographic screen, and her fingers were dancing like a dancer. Still 10 seconds, I'll delete the main link. Hello, how do you do? The virus fluctuation makes your core superfluous, right? Guanyu Highway flashed away from a landmine, and his body rose from the side of the iron blood, and his walking railed in the air to create an arc line. The stormy snake rubbed through the shell and emitted a sizzling current sound. I can hold it back. Jingjing, thank you. In fact, this virus reminds me of family affairs. Dad was trampled by the Giant Pain family's code and destroyed by the iron blood. I have hated myself for being powerless since I was a child. But now, this core is like the property left by my dad to me. I want to use it to prove that our Guanyu family has not fallen. His voice was trembling, full of strength, and sharing the past is like removing it from being reincarnated. Jingjing's image was stunned, then she smiled, her eyes flashed with a warm light. Follower, I understand. The mechanics at home have also been destroyed by the financial group. my father was framed by the virus. Let's get up from the bottom and get revenge together. Look at mine. The entrance is successful, and the reverse code is injected. Her system penetrated into the opponent's chain like a sharp sword, and a red data flow backed out and headed straight for the iron wall armor. The reinstalled armor suddenly froze, the energy shield collapsed, and the driver's spell was sent out from the channel. What the hell? The system collapsed. The iron wall fell to the ground, hitting the mine group. The blue balls exploded, the flames swelled into the sky, and the debris were like smoke. The audience was boiling. Counterattack. That engineer is so amazing. Guanyu seized the opportunity, and Dio's guidance promptly raised. Terrain utilization. There is a magnetic ramp on the right side of the storm belt, which accelerates the sprint and traverses the main thunder zone. Guanyu locked his target and pushed up the oil door. The iron blood number used the thrust of the electromagnetic storm to rush up the ramp. The machine body shook in the arc, and the heat waves were burning like fire, but he had mastered energy control, and the blue light was output stably, allowing the durability to remain at its peak. "Thank you, coach." He responded, and the energy cannon on his right arm was launched. Rush. 2 blue beams of lightning are thunder, accurately hitting the core of the mine group. The explosion visual effect shocked the whole scene. The blue ball collapsed like domino. The locking reaction caused a 100-meter fire wave. The arc and the energy wave intersected into a storm. The race was shaken. The fragments fell like rain. The audience screamed, "The energy cannon is coming." Is this broken armor a monster? Giant Pain's Thunder King approached, particle cannon shot, and lasers were like rain. "Die! You waste!" Giant Pain roared, and his mocking turned into anger. "Guanyu, do you think this little cleverness can turn the plate? Join forces to attack the second wave, and destroy him." But Guanyu's fighting spirit has been ignited, and Giant Pain's mocking is like fuel, which makes him burn in his heart. It's no longer the boy hiding, "I am a driver." He controlled the core energy, and the iron blood signal flashed at high speed to avoid particle beams. The machine body was as flexible as a swallow in the storm, flashing left and right, and walking on the belt to crush the mines, causing bursting brittle swells. "Jingjing, open the way for me!" Guanyu shouted. Jingjing's laughter sounded. "It's already in place. The virus has transformed, and the Shadow Blade has been counterattacked." Another stream of data flowed out, and the agile armor lost control and rotated, hitting the side wing of the Thunder King. The 2 machines scattered the ground, sparking 4 times. Guanyu took advantage of the final moment, and the energy cannon finally defeated the control tower that destroyed the storm. The snake collapsed and the track opened. His ranking rose to the first place. When the iron blood numbers stopped stable, the whole scene was silent for a moment, and immediately burst into a crazy cry, "Guanyu! The iron blood number! The reverse king!" In the driving, Guanyu gasped and opened the rods. The blue light faded, but the familiarity of energy control seemed to be deeply rooted. He was unfaithful, from a panicked novices, to now, "I can predict and control them. This growth is not what I want, but I am fighting for." In the communication device, Jingjing said excitedly, "It's great. Your control skills are simple and natural. Thank you for sharing the family's past. We are partners, forever." Dio added, "Good, boy. The group is coming out, and the official competition is imminent. But be careful, the information shows that the organizer has a black box, their source of the virus, which is connected to the financial group of the Giant Pain family. Your father's accident that year was their trial plan." The holographic screen flash, the list of outbound lines is confirmed, and Guanyu ranks among the top. But the public channel suddenly inserted Giant Pain's private message, and the sound was cold, "Guanyu, this is just the beginning. In the official competition, I will let your father's soul reappear. The financial group's eyes are staring at you. If you dare to dig out the truth, just wait for the armor to explode into smoke." The threat was like a cold wind blowing. Guanyu clenched his fist and looked at the top of the dark dome at the end of the competition. The iron blood engine is low, and is about to be developed, and the silhouette is gradually emerging. The dome of the competition arched like a giant spine, and the blue-purple energy field activates in the air, creating a low buzz, making Guanyu's teeth slightly bleed. The 8-strength race mace track is hidden in the urban underground layer. The alloy wall is winding like a maze. The surface is full of self-responsive sensors, which can instantly deform according to the driver's actions. One wall may instantly protrude sharply, and another corner will release the viral fog, invade the system without sound and breathing. The audience was shouting like a thunderstorm far away. It was poured into the driving tank through holographic projection, mixed with the burnt smell of motor oil and electricity, making Guanyu's nasal cavity develop. The iron blood numbers stopped on the starting line, and the battle consumption caused the alloy plate of the mechanical arm to slightly burn, and the blue light in the energy core dimmed a little. The display showed that the durability was only 72%. He wiped the sweat from the head and tightened the rod. The team has passed, but this mystery feels like a tomb. He murmured, his heart with a threat of giant pain, and the cold private messages were like poisonous stings. Guanyu, focus. The virus trap in the mystery is a shaped code, which will be disguised as a reflection on the wall. First, use the scan module to explore the way. Dio's voice came from the communication device, with eagerness in the sand, and the background was the tick sound at the end of the old data. I just dug up the old story. In the year of your dad's big game, the source of the virus was the organizer's black market experiment. Giant Pain's family bought them and implanted the core scope. Don't let history repeat itself, boy. Guanyu's heart sank, and the scene of his father's maid flashed in the sea of his brain. The iron blood number rolled in the race, and the flames swallowed everything. His powerlessness when he was a child was like a tide. But now, the inferiority complex has turned into a steel-like determination. He wants to revenge, not blind anger, but to tear the face of his harshness with real strength. Thank you, coach. I won't retreat. He responded, his voice calmly. The iron blood engine horn started, and the blue tail flame sprayed, rushing into the entrance of the maze. The alloy wall stands on both sides, reaching 15 meters high, with a surface flashing with cold light, and the air is filled with hidden electromagnetic smell, like an invisible net being tightened. The 8 strong opponents were tightened by the following: 4 high-level armors, including Giant Pain's Thunder King. The huge thing came like a black shadow, the nanolayer reflected the blue light of the maze, and the particle cannon was about to be developed. The other 2 were the Phantom and Steel Spine that sponsored the alliance. Their sensors buzzed and changed, and the walls were stretched out to sway like alloy vines. Giant Pain's smile was blown from the open channel, full of maliciousness. Guanyu, welcome to my game venue. This mystery was sponsored by Giant Pain's family, and it is suitable for the barrier to cure your broken traffic. Virus attacks, start. A hidden data flowed like a fog, entering the core edge of the iron blood number. Warning low, virus permeation. The robot arm is too hot, the rate of fire decreases by 30%, and the energy flow is unstable. The right arm of the iron blood number emitted a harsh friction sound, and the heat wave penetrated the nerves and connected to Guanyu's arm, burning like a fire. He tried to avoid a stretched steel-spun wall. The adaptive barrier popped out like a living thing, the tip flashed with an electric arc, and the sound of the outer shell was emitted, and the debris fell like rain. Don't die. The arm is too hot, the barrel is stuck. Guanyu cursed the spell and slammed the rotor. The iron blood hit the corner of the wall, the alloy fragments were 4 times, and the site was shaking. The Phantom armor is winged from the side, the laser network swept, and particle beams are emitted behind Giant Pain's Thunder King Hall, and the explosion is rumbling inside the maze. Guanyu's ranking was at the bottom, sweat blurred his eyes, and his heart was as unrestrained as a storm. The same was true for Dad's accident, from superiority to absolute. But I can't defeat. I want to remove this virus and let them taste the taste of being backfired. Just as the core edge was about to collapse, the blue light suddenly exploded, and it jumped violently like a heart. Sharp upgrade touch development. The mechanical arm fused a new alloy module, with a 150% increase in firing rate and heat resistance. A stream of ice-cold energy was injected into the arm, and Guanyu felt that the metal was reshaped like a liquid. the hot plates were automatically cooled, and the flashing nano-alloy layer was flooded at the close of the period, and the gun barrel stretched, creating a low hum. The core is saving me," he growled, pushing the oil door up, and the iron blood rose, avoiding the thorny vines. The energy cannon is charged rapidly, and its firing rate is like a snail. The blue beam is like a rainstorm basin, sweeping over the wall of the Saber Palace, and the suitable alloy melts at high temperatures. The wall collapses and opens quickly, and the debris are like smoke. The audience burst into screams. The energy cannon shot. The iron blood number has opened. Reverse. As the Speedo appeared, Guanyu directly slammed the inner circle, and the phantom armor pusher was hit by the energy cannon. The agile machine rolled up and hit the deformed wall. The driver's surprise came out of the channel. Impossible. This rate of fire, we were dumped. The steel thorn tried to cut the ejaculation standard, but Guanyu's ejaculation was incomparable. The beam cut its vines, the armor was unbalanced and swept into the trap area, and the fog of the shaped virus swallowed it, and the system collapsed. Flames swept through the sky. The ranking rose. Guanyu gasped and smiled. "Giant Pain, is this your suitability?" "Now, it serves me." Giant Pain's Thunder King approaches, virus attacks add up, and data chews into the core like a swarm. "Boy, don't be proud. This is just an appetizer. The host's concealer will make your dad's dream come true." Giant Pain roared, the particle cannon burst into flames, and the fire in the maze was flashing, and the heat was swept. Although Guanyu's robotic arm was upgraded, the virus was swept through and the energy flow trembled. He glanced at the red light that flashed through the flash. It was Jingjing's clone, the unmanned. The compact detector is stuck in the wall and is trapped by the self-adapted spikes. The lights are flickering and dark, and will be corroded by the virus. Jingjing's unmanned aircraft? It is helping me explore the way. Guanyu's heart tightened, pushing his body. The energy cannon shot slightly, and the blue light essence hit the sharp thorns. The unmanned aircraft was trapped, and the buzzing bird flew back to the side of the iron blood. In the communication device, Jingjing's voice suddenly rose, and she was breathing. "Guanyu. Thank you, that is my latest detection clone, specializing in optimizing the virus. If it weren't for you, my research would have been destroyed." Her image burst out, with a light of gratitude flashing in her eyes, and a slightly red face under her short hair. "From now on, I am not just an ally, I am in love with you. I will report the family's hatred. Now, I hear the auxiliary core of the virus chain building. I am optimizing the code and reimplanting it." Guanyu felt that a warm current flowed, not the core energy, but this loyalty. From a strange engineer to a life-and-death partner, her trust firmed his determination as firm as an affair. "Jingjing, fuck it. Let's delete this ghost thing together." He responded. The iron blood number protected the unmanned aircraft and drove through the maze at high speed. Dio's information was added at a time. The weakness of the old day code is frequency resonance, using your core to interfere with it. Your dad ignored this point that year and was hit. Guanyu pointed at the head, guiding the optimized fusion of blue light and Jingjing, and the data flow backed out like a silver river, heading straight for the Thunder King. The anti-implantation was successful. "Giant Pain, your system is short-circuited," Jingjing shouted, with the pleasure of revenge in her excitement. The Thunder King's movement suddenly stiffened, the particle cannon lost control and shot, hitting its own nanostructure, sparking 4 times. The armor stumbled into the wall, and it was suitable for the obstacles to reverse, and the alloy vines swayed its legs. Giant Pain's curse bombing message said, "Do you die? The virus backfire? Impossible. How do you know the weakness?" The out-of-control Thunder King redirected back, his ranking plummeted, and the audience was booming, "Resist the Giant Pain. The Iron Blood God is here." Guanyu seized the opportunity, and the last swept of the energy cannon, destroying the core point of the mysterious palace. The wall collapsed into a straight road, and he rushed out the final point, and when the iron blood number stopped stable, the whole scene was like a sea of silence. The heat of the mechanical arm has faded, and the upgraded alloy flashes against Xinguang. He said in his heart, I will no longer shake when facing my father's recollection. This revenge is not hatred, but strength. I will protect the iron blood and protect all of us. The crisp feeling of virus removal makes inferiority complex and replaces the hero's silhouette. The holographic screen flash, the 8-strong competition ended, Guanyu ranked 4 strong, ranking first. But when the private message pops up, Dio's voice is low. Boy, congratulations. But I've been in charge of the organizer. They have been in contact with the Giant Pain family for a long time. The grand tournament is a virus test field, and there is a military contract behind the championship prize. In the official 4th round, they will be serious and send hidden masters. Be careful, your iron blood number has been targeted. Jingjing added, I will upgrade to defense. Guanyu, let's unveil this secret together. Guanyu looked at the shadow deep in the mystery, and the blue light was like a war drum. In the tight air, the flames of revenge are burning, and the sound of the 4 strong competitions is about to knock on the deeper sarcasm. Terms, 1263. The high-altitude floating field is like a giant blue net without a side, open in the cloud layer on the upper level of the city. The anti-gravity field distorts the air, making the track platform sway like a floating island. The wild wind blew over the edge, scattered with the thunder smell of electricity and the sharp sound of metal friction. The surface of the platform is flashing against the blue energy network. If there is a slight imbalance, the edge guardrail will collapse, and the wall will be deep into tens of meters. The audience floated in the top of the translucent dome around, with hundreds of thousands of figures spreading like stars, and their voices rolling like storms, shaking Guanyu's driving wheels slightly. The iron blood number stopped at the starting position. The nano-alloy layer of the robot arm was slightly burning in the wind, and the blue light from the energy core was moving, reflecting his white face. In the 4 strong matches, there are only 2 matches left. He faces the Thunder King of Giant Pain, and the other is the 2 high-level armors in the league that are fighting on the remote end. Guanyu took a deep breath, and the clouds outside the window were swelling. The air at high altitude felt like an invisible heavy pressure, which made his stomach turn over. He was afraid of heights since he was a child. This weakness was never exposed during the simulation training, but now, it gnawed at his confidence like a virus. Guanyu, balance is the key. The anti-gravity area will amplify the wind and rely on the core's perception to predict, so don't bear it. Dio's voice came from the communication device, with familiar warmth in the sand, and the background was the buzzing sound of the repair station. Remember I was so strong back then? The storm streak made me blue like a drunken air, almost a cliff. But I told myself that the armor is not a slaughter, but a wing. Like your dad, grit your teeth and hold it up. Boy, you have his blood. Guanyu's heart warmed slightly, and Dio's reverence calmed his shaking emotions like an affair. My dad was also afraid of heights that year, so he flew on the race. I can't give this fear. Thank you, coach. I'll fly. He responded, and although the sound was tight, there was a little more stability. The red light swept over the starting line, and the holographic counter reached 0, for strong competitions, start. The iron blood pusher sprayed the blue flame, the platform vibrated, the wind rushed like a wild beast. Guanyu pushed the front of the pusher, the iron blood swung into the high-altitude track, the belt glided on the floating alloy, making a low-friction sound. Giant Pain's Thunder King rushed towards him like a black horn. The 20-meter high horn body cuts the air in the cloud, the nano-shield flashes the blue light, the double arm slams the bullet, and the engine tail flames are like thunder and fire. Haha, Guanyu. It's suitable for falling from high altitude, like your dad. Giant Pain's ridicule was filled with vicious poison. No one will save you this time. Guide the rain, launch. Virus, hit the core. In an instant, the Thunder King's arm opened and rolled out. Dozens of guides popped out like a swarm of bees. The tail flames broke through the cloud layer, and the track swayed and tracked the iron blood numbers. At the same time, a high-concentration virus flowed like an invisible arrow, stabbing the energy core directly. The warning masterpiece, the guide locks. The virus invades the core, and the energy decay is reduced by 40%. Guanyu's vision swayed, and the rods were violently responding. The wind at high altitude caused the iron blood to fall on the side, and the blue net in the edgeguard column wiped the outer shell, making a sizzling arc sound. Acrophobia is like a tide, his stomach is overturned. He imagines the scene of his falling clouds, and his hands are shaking slightly. You should die, it's too high, I can't hold it. Just as the core edge was about to collapse, the blue light suddenly exploded, striking violently like a warning sign, reaching the nerve link. Crisis sensing mode unlocking, multifunctional upgrade of the robot arm is activated. The energy cannon is converted to guide and the prediction is optimized. A heat flow penetrates into the right arm, and the Guanyu sensor alloy layer extends like a living thing. The gun barrel splits into multiple guides, and a miniature sensor network floats on the surface, and it buzzes the locking guide group. In the panic, a clear appearance of the film, this is not escape, it is a counterattack. He gritted his teeth and closed his teeth, overcame the dizziness, pushed the rod up, and the iron blood slammed flexibly in the wind, avoiding the first wave of bomb explosion. The flames were released in the cloud, the hot waves swept, and the debris fell on the platform like rain. Go! Guanyu growled and pressed the trigger. The energy cannon turned into a guide beam, shot out like a blue wire, accurately radiating the guided tail flame, and thrusting them into self-destruction and locking. The explosion visual effect shocked the whole scene. The fireballs were connected like smoke, and the fragments evaporated in the anti-gravity field, and the audience burst into screams, guide and shoot. The iron blood number is amazing. The waves had not dissipated. Guanyu locked the Thunder King's shield, and the blue barrier rippled like water waves. The guide beam sways and chases, hitting the core of the shield. The nano layer disintegrates into 4 sparks. Giant Pain's system warning is harsh, the shield is invalid. Boy, why are you? The Thunder King exposed his weakness, and his body swayed in the wind. Guanyu's ranking has risen, and his heart is afraid of heights melting like ice and snow. He feels that the sky is no longer deep and clear, but a battlefield. Driving skills change in crisis, avoiding the flash of dynasty to predicted flow, and every time he pulls the rod, it is like instinct. Guanyu. The virus hits the core directly, it's so cruel. Dio and I are injecting the powder into it. Jingjing's voice suddenly rose, and her image popped up from the communication screen. Her eyes are staring at the holographic screen, her fingers are dancing, and her short hair is a calm expression. Hold on, your guided shot is so great. From the preheat game to the present, you have changed. I admire you, not just the technology, but the unwilling scoundrel. Just like my father taught that year, the team can fly higher. Her words blew away the clouds like warm wind, and Dio added, yes, boy. Tutu is on the line, antivirus impulse, now. The remote connection is injected like a flash. Jingjing's optimization code is integrated with Dio's old-day strategy, and a green data flows into the iron blood number, wrapping up the invading virus. Guanyu felt the core movement was stable, and he took the initiative to guide the blue light response. It was no longer a lone army battle, but a force-leveraged team. Delete it, he shouted, switching the multifunction mode of the robot arm, and the energy cannon sprayed the waves, heading straight to the Thunder King's pusher. The virus retaliated like wildfire. Giant Pain's engine emitted a sorrow, and the tail flames continued to flash. Push the inlet. You should die, how do you fight? The Thunder King lost control and slammed the edge of the anti-gravity zone. The storm pushed it to the deep penis like a giant hand. The body wiped the guardrail, and the blue net disintegrated into an arc rain. The audience sucked in a breath. The falling edge is storm. Giant Pain is about to fall. Guanyu seized the opportunity, and the iron blood signal was thrust at high speed, guiding the shooting and locking the pusher. The blue light was accurately cut, and the flames penetrated the sky. The Thunder King suddenly slammed towards the platform, and Giant Pain's curse continued from the channel. This is impossible, the financial group will not let you go. The armor was stuck on the guardrail and stopped temporarily, but the pusher blew up and could not chase it. Guanyu pulled up the iron blood number, and stopped stably at the end platform. His heartbeat was flat in the wind, and the clouds at high altitude were no longer terrible. At the moment when he overcame the fear of heights, he realized that from the lonely revenge to the reign of the team, this transformation was as natural as the core upgrade. I have no choice but to be alone, Dad. I will no longer fight alone. This power is ours together. The holographic screen flash, the 4 strong competitions ended, Guanyu went straight to the semifinals, ranking first. The audience cried like thunder, and Dio's smile sounded, "Good, boy. Your skills have improved greatly, just like I did back then, flying out of shadows." Jingjing added, "Pandey? Not only that, I believe you can win the big game. After rest, I will optimize the durability of my arms." But the private message popped up, a hidden record, the clip of Dio's involvement, the host's high-level conversation with the Giant Pain family, who removed the virus. Speed up the plan, use the final code in the semi-decision game to control the competition, and let the financial group's military contract be launched. The Guanyu family is an obstacle, erase it. The chanting line is like a cold wind, pointing to the black hand of the game controller. Guanyu held the rod tightly and looked at the floating island deep in the cloud. Giant Pain's Thunder King was dragged away to repair, but the war was not extinguished, and the half-final storm was waiting to be launched. Terms, 1245. The cloud layer rolled over the half-decision track like a broken lens. The blue-purple energy field twisted the air and released a low buzz, causing Guanyu's eardrum to hurt. The racetrack is a crazy hybrid. From a high-altitude floating island into the underground tunnel, the alloy platform is connected to the dark deep well, the bottom of the well is a winding tunnel system, and the walls are filled with self-destructive thunders. Those round metal balls are like ponies that are lying on the surface, with red light on the surface, and high-temperature electricity is bursting when touched. The air is a virus storm, shaking data fog and storing all systems. The live broadcast lenses of the audience were seen by millions of people watching through the holographic screen. The sound of the call was like a thunderstorm that rushed into the communication device, mixing the wind of the call and the metal friction smell, making the air in the drive become sticky. The iron blood numbers stopped at the wellhead, and the blue light movement at the core of the energy was weak, and the display of the energy was only 38%. The continuous consumption of the war was like an invisible chain dragging the body. Guanyu wiped the cold sweat from the bottom of his head, and the high altitude of the rest made his stomach turn, but what was even heavier was the intimate uneasiness. The host's black hand was stretching out from the shadow. "Guanyu, the storm in the well will amplify the virus effect, so calm the energy distribution first." Dio's voice came from the communication device, and the sand was anxious, and the background was the rapid tick sound at the end of the data. "The Thunder King of Giant Pain has been repaired. The 3 high-level motor armors in the league will hit you. Remember, the thunder in the tunnel is the key, don't be hard." Guanyu pointed the head, held the rod tightly, and the iron blood pusher sprayed the blue flames and penetrated into the deep well. The gravity field was twisted, the body was knocked down like a stone, the voice poured into the wall like a ghost crying, and the vision turned from the cloud sea to the dark tunnel. The red light swept over, and the holographic countdown reached 0, the half-final game begins. The audience burst into thunderous sounds, and the live broadcast screens flooded the screen. Can the iron blood function be repelled? The energy trough, Giant Pain is about to revenge. In the tunnel, Giant Pain's Thunder King emerged from the side like a black shadow, with the nanoglass flashing into the new light, and the particle cannon was ready to be developed. The Alliance's 3 armors, Storm Knock, Iron Thorn Guard, and Shadow Eater, form a circle. Their engines are sweeping through the tunnel, the thunder on the walls are buzzing, and the red light blinks like eyes. "Haha, Guanyu. Your dad's coffin board cannot be repaired, right?" Giant Pain's ridicule was filled with pleasure from the open channel. "Union, the collective virus storm, it's not overwhelming." In an instant, 3 fogs flooded like floods, mixing into a collective virus storm, and invisible codes gnawed at the core of the iron blood numbers like swarms. The warning was harsh and powerful: virus storm invasion. Energy decay accelerates, robotic arm storms are alert. Guanyu's vision is blurry, and the slug is like a slug, and the iron blood hits the corner of the tunnel. Sparks are filled with heat, making him sweat heavily. As the Thunder Group approached, the metal balls popped out from the wall, exploded with red light flashes, and the tunnel was filled with a low buzz. The first thunder broke through the shell, and the electric bulge exploded like a fireball, and the debris fell like rain, shaking the side of the Iron Blood. Alliance armor takes advantage of the attack. The Storm Knockman's laser net swept, and the Iron Spiral Guard stretched out the spine arm to hit, and the Shadow Eater fired a hidden guide from behind. "Stop!" Guanyu growled, but the energy trough made the pusher continue. The virus storm invaded, and the core movement was like a dying breath. He imagined his father's tunnel war that year, from the lead to the collapse, and the failure was reflected in the mirror. "I always move, I have no strategy. I can't repeat it." Just as the Iron Blood number was about to be torn by the spinous arm, the energy core blue light suddenly burst out, dying like a heart, directly reaching the nerve link. Overload upgrade touch development, mechanical arm stylus unlocked. The energy cannon range blast mode is activated. A hot stream of energy flowed into the right arm. Guanyu felt that the alloy layer was boiling like a liquid. The gun barrel stretched into a stylus array, and the surface was filled with blue grids, and the buzzing force was accumulated. The trough's absolute turned into a redirector, and he instinctively guided the load flow, no longer a blind shooting, but a strategic allocation, locking the core density of the Thunder group. "This time, I won't be banned, I'll open the way." I flashed my heart alone. From the past to the current calculation, this reflection was like a fire that ignited confidence. "Enable charging, launch." Guanyu pulled the trigger, and the energy cannon sprayed a ring-shaped squirting wave, spreading the tunnel like a blue ripples. Blasting visual effects shocked. The spiral hits the group of thunders. The first wave of self-destruction is locked. The electric fireball is released like a fire. The debris evaporates into metal fog. The tunnel is shaking, and the wall cracks open, and the wall is cracked in the sharp edge. The second wave of thunder swept over the deadly thunder, and the explosion destroyed dozens of them. The red light fell like stars, and the heat waves and the arc intersected into a storm. The live broadcast crowd was booming, and the curtain was crazy. The energy cannon scope exploded. The Iron Blood number was operated, and the tunnel was exploded. The Alliance armor was pushed open by the waves. The outer shell of the storm melted, and the driver shocked. "This impulse, how is the energy trough possible?" The impulse blood number was smoothly slammed. The mechanical arm's impulse mode was stable. Guanyu's ranking rose, and sweat slid down happily. But the virus storm has not stopped, and the collective data is foggy, and the tide is coming back like a tide. Giant Pain's Thunder King approaches. Particle cannons are ignited, and the flames in the tunnel are flashing. "Boy, are you happy?" "Alliance, suppress him." Giant Pain roared. The Alliance's armor regrouped to attack, and the thorn arm clamped the air and hissed. Guanyu's vision was distorted again. Although the impulse mode was strong, the source of the virus was hidden in the track system. He felt that it was not a single attack, but the Master's black hand was controlling it. "Jing jing. The virus storm is too dense, I can't locate the source." He switched the help channel, and his voice was quick. The unmanned aircraft at the repair station penetrated like a star, and Jing Jing's images popped out. She was wearing engineering suits, sweating at the end of her head, staring at the end of her eyes. "Guanyu, I'm here." Adventuring into the track system. "Wow, this firewall is black market level." Giant Pain's home buy-in host. Her fingers danced in the holographic keyboard, data flowing like a silver river bank, and an unmanned machine was buzzing into the tunnel wall, and the lights flashed in the virus fog. "Stop, I position the source in the central control tower. The collective virus spreads from there. Now, reverse propagation code, inject." A green data arrow ejected, and the crystal penetrated like a sword, piercing the system, and the source of the virus was exposed, a hidden spot in the middle of the tunnel, and the red light swayed like a heart. The deletion was successful. Reverse spread, disintegrating them. Jing Jing shouted, breathing in her breath. Green waves spread like wildfire, the system warning masterpiece of the Alliance armor. The laser network of the Storm Knockman disintegrated, the thorn arm of the Iron Thorn Guard lost control and swung, the Shadow Eater turned around, the driver's spell bombing channel, virus backlash. The Alliance is blocked. Giant Pain was isolated and helpless. The Thunder King faced the Iron Blood, and the particle cannon shot apart, hitting the remaining thunder, and sparking 4 sparks. Die it! How did you? Jing come in! Giant Pain roared, panic for the first time in his voice. Live broadcast screen explodes, engineer's God. Giant Pain is isolated, the iron blood number is invincible. Guanyu seized the opportunity, and Dio's voice immediately rose, take the strategy. The tunnel has an air outlet, and uses the overwhelming wave to push it up, and over the storm belt. Like the move I taught your dad that year, fight for it. Guanyu pushed up the oil door, and the iron blood stormed out of the tunnel with the blasting air wave. The aircraft body rolled in the air, and the sound was like a whip, but he had already predicted the slam, and the slam mode was slightly adjusted and pushed into the high-altitude platform. Giant Pain tried to chase the picture, but the isolation made him fall into the thunder, and the Thunder King's outer shell was charred and his ranking plummeted. Teacher, thank you. Your kindness has been achieved from the preheating game to the present, and I realize that strategy is not about luck, but about a team. Guanyu responded, his voice full of gratitude, and Dio's smile was warm. Boy, you have grown up. Dad will be proud. In the air, Guanyu's reflection was like a flash. The past failure is not weak, but unstable thinking. Now, the tacit understanding with Jing and Dio's guidance have made the team upgrade like Iron Blood, no longer lonely wolf, but a pack of wolves. The Iron Blood signal is on the stable platform, and the blue light in the impulse mode is fading, but he feels stronger. Jing's image blinked, happy cooperation? We have won a half-decision game. Dio added, it's out, boy. The game is about to be decided. The holographic screen flashed, the half-finals ended, Guanyu went straight to the game, and the live broadcast audience cried wildly. But the private message popped up, and Dio entered the clip, the organizer's high-level low-pitched verb, the virus originated from the experience of the black market. Giant Pain's family paid a big price and controlled the game as a military contract. Guanyu removed too much, and erased him in the game. Guanyu clenched his fist tightly, looking at the dark circle of the game, and his inner vow was like a blue light. Justice is not empty talk, I will reveal this black market rumor and let my father's wronged soul rest in peace. The Iron Blood engine is low, and the storm of the game is about to swallow nothing. The air in the repair area is like solidified rubber, which is filled with the burnt smell of welding and the pungent ozone of the circuit board. The dim sunlight sways on the alloy ceiling, casting a long shadow, like invisible fingers and claws grab Guanyu's back. The Iron Blood numbers stand on the lifting platform, the tall body is covered with war marks, the nano-alloy layer of the mechanical arm is slightly burned, and the blue light at the core of the energy is unstable, and it is always bright and dark, like a dying ball burn. The heat of the half-finals had not yet dissipated. Guanyu crawled out of the driving force, his legs softened, and leaned against the armored legs to breathe. Only 12 hours left when the game was decided. The black market of the host was like a cloud pressure, but now he couldn't even hold on to the Iron Blood numbers. The overturn after the core trough made it as low as a sick wild beast. Don't die, this movement. Why is it unstable? Guanyu murmured, pressing his palm onto the core, and the blue light penetrated into the palm of his palm, burning like ice and fire. He closed his eyes and took a deep breath, trying to control the picture, but his vision suddenly twisted. The world is tilted, and the lights in the maintenance area turn into the firelight of the grand competition that year. The Iron Blood of my father rolled over the race. The explosion of hot waves scattered, and the fragments fell like rain. My mother's crying cried in her ears, Guanyu, run. The family's glory collapsed like a sand castle, and his small figure ran away in the crowd, feeling inferior like a poisonous snake gnawing at the heart. Dad, it's my fault, I'm too weak to save you. I feel like a tide coming. Guanyu kneels on the ground, with the base against the cold alloy, and sweat slitting down. No. I'm not that child anymore. I want revenge. Why are you now? Just when he felt that he was about to swallow him, a harsh warning erupted from the core, external invasion. Assassin virus injected, core isolation failed. Guanyu suddenly slid his eyes, and the data in the field crawled like red cylindrical groups. The Iron Blood system flickered wildly. The mechanical arm twitched and swung, smashing the tool car beside him, and the parts were scattered all over the ground. Giant Pain's voice came from the hidden channel and was low and poisonous. "Boy, I'll give you a gift before the game. The black market assassin code will treat your father's inheritance. Eliminate you and eliminate it from the root." The virus cuts the core edge like a sharp blade, the blue drama trembles violently, and the illusion is added. The father's face is twisted into Giant Pain's ridicule. "You are always a waste." The door of the repair area was sliding open, and the crystal slid in, with short hair irritated. The engineering suit was covered with oil, the end of the bowel movement in my hand, and the anxious light was flashing in my eyes. "Guanyu. The system alarm has been reported in the whole area. Your iron blood is on the verge of self-destruction." She rushed to the console, and the interface line was thrown out and connected to the core, and the data flow rolled on her screen like crazy. Assassin virus. Giant Pain's works are high-enhanced, and they are dedicated to the energy core. "Hold on, I'll try to isolate them." Her fingers danced, sweating in her head, and there was a rare panic in her voice. "Don't act, the virus will cause illusions and make you collapse. Hey, Guanyu, can you hear it?" Guanyu's vision was blurry, and in his illusion, he saw Jingjing turning into a mother's shadow, and stretched out his hand and was swallowed by the flames. "Jingjing. Dad's accident is this virus. I'm afraid I can't help it. The family is destroyed. How can I be a hero?" His voice stopped, and his heart was as white as broken glass. He thought it was the core to save the monk, but now it's like a curse, and it's warm and destructive. But Jingjing's touch pulled him back, holding his arms with one hand, warm and firm. "Idiot, listen to me." She turned her head at him, her eyes reflected in blue light, and her voice was soft and powerful. "I understand that feeling. My dad was also framed by the virus, destroying the repair station, and turning from a genius into a street beggar. But you are different. From the preheating game to the semi-decision game, you are turning backward again and again, not the luck, but the robbery you gritted your teeth. I will share half of your pain. From strangers to now, I don't want to see you." Her face was slightly red, and her eyes were really touching. At that moment, the emotions that emerged like a warm current melted the illusion, and Guanyu's heartbeat missed. "It turns out that someone was willing to share it for me. This is not revenge, it is erectile dysfunction." Just as the virus was about to bury the core, the blue light suddenly healed and exploded, moving from inside to outside like a phoenix nirvana. Self-mode unlocking, the energy core is stable and strengthened, and the robotic arm nanofusion is upgraded. A pure energy flowed through the iron blood. Guanyu felt that the nerve links were washed away, and the illusion disintegrated into pieces, and the red cysts evaporated in the blue light. The alloy layer of the mechanical arm is automatically reorganized, and a flash-like solid net floats on the surface, and a crisp click sound comes from the junction, and the durability increases from 38% to 92%. The core is to save himself. Guanyu growled, stood up, pushed Jingjing out, and rushed into the driving force. The slug was sliding like a thread in the palm of his hand. He aimed at a test barrier wall around the repair area. The alloy block simulated track trap, which was as high as 5 meters, and the surface was full of simulated thunder, and the buzz was waiting to explode. "Try the new arm." Guanyu pulled the pulley, and the energy cannon took only 3 seconds to charge. The blue beam was sprayed out like thunder, accurately cutting the barrier wall. The explosion effect is shocking. The beam tears the alloy, the thunder locks and self-destructs, the fireballs are like smoke, the 4 debris are deflected by the stable grid, and the repair area is only covered with light and dirty. Guanyu's ranking model screen flashed, and confidence came back like a tide. He laughed and said, "Giant Pain, your assassin? Now, it is my nourishment." The illusionary shadow receded, replaced by a restored fighting ambition, and his heart was silent and simple. "I am no longer a victim, I am the controller." Outside the door, Dio walked in with a crutch, his gray hair flashed under the light, and his eyes were as sharp as a keel. "Boy, I'm having a good time. But the assassin virus has a back door. Giant Pain's base is in the eastern black market. We can't be moved. He passed a piece of data chips and his voice was loud. I'll teach you the ultimate driving experience. It's not speed, it's prediction. Like when I decided to compete that year, I was in the face of the whole region. Don't follow me. Brakes to the death, use their reactions to kill. The core's your extension, your mind is stable, and the armor will be stable. Remember, your dad is moving, and you are holding on. Dio patted his shoulder, his eyes full of gentleness. Go, heroes are not born, they are born out of gritting their teeth. The crystal points are on the head, and the data flows and gathers at the end. Tio's guidance is right. Let's work together to find the ultimate virus star. She connected to Dio's chip, and the three of them surrounded the console. Jingjing's optimization code is like a ripe sword, Dio's old strategy is like a shield, and Guanyu guides the core blue light injection. The ultimate star formation, a golden data slug that specializes in black market encryption. Online. Jingjing shouted, impeding the iron blood number and tracking the source of the virus in reverse. On the screen, the red line is like an arrow pointing directly to the black market in the east, and the blue picture of Giant Pain base pops up. Thunder King's weakness is exposed, the help core has a backdoor loophole, the nano shield has only 70% durability, and the pusher is too hot. Ha, the counter-tracking was successful. Guanyu said happily, Giant Pain, I got your base map. Star injected, delete the assassin. The golden slug backed out, the assassin virus disintegrated into data fragments, the iron blood system was as clear as new, and the core was as stable as a rock. Jingjing turned to look at him and smiled, now, you are invincible. Guanyu, after the game, we go eat skewers? Not just partners. Her words were ashamed, Guanyu's heart warmed up, and she held her hand, well, together. Thank you, for letting me wake up from my illusion. From the deep purity of inferiority to embracing the heroic mission, this turn is as profound as the core upgrade, no longer fighting for revenge, but fighting for protection, fighting for Jingjing, Dio, and even the entire bottom layer. 12 hours later, the bell beats. The deadly mysterious race in the whole region is like a giant beast awakening. The core of the city, high-altitude floating islands are connected to the underground tunnel, the alloy walls are adapted to change, the virus storm and the Thunder Group gang, the edge is a deep anti-gravity, and the touch is about to fall. The audience was filled with millions of people, and they were shouting like a sea shaking. The live broadcast screen was crazy, Iron Blood No. vs Thunder King. The battle against the fight. Guanyu entered the driving force, the Iron Blood No was blue and bright, and the engine started. Giant Pain's Thunder King approached from the opposite island, the particle cannon was accumulating, and the cold private message came out, boy, you're sure this time. But Guanyu smiled, pushed the front, the confused red light swept over, the game opened, and the deadly wind swallowed nothing. Terms, 1256. The dynamic deformation of the track of the game is like a living giant, lying under the giant dome at the core of the city. The alloy ground undulates like waves, and the surface is crawling and suitable for alloy plates, they can instantly deform according to the energy waves of the driver, extending out the high walls with spikes from the flat straight path, or collapse into a deep penis that swallows the armor. The air is filled with viral fog, like an invisible gray-thin gauze, hidden in black market encryption codes, and it will invade the system as soon as it touches, giving off a low buzzy smell that stung the burnt odor of the scattered electricity, making Guanyu's nasal cavity secretly uncover. The millions of people in the audience were stormed through the holographic live broadcast, and their voices rolled into the driving wheels like thunderstorms, mixing the wind of the shouts and the sharp movements of metal friction. The Iron Blood numbers stopped on the starting line of the first round, the blue core movement was like a war drum, the nanolayer of the robot arm was flashing against the stable light, Guanyu held the rod tightly and moved the pole, and the sweat slipped down the head. The 5 high-level armors of the Elite Alliance are in place, Giant Pain's Thunder King is in the middle, the nano shield is rippling like a blue water curtain, and surrounded by 4 auxiliary models, Shocking Nox, Thorn Fort, Electric Hordes and Ghost Blades. Their engines growl low, and the fog sprays out from the exhaust port, like a wolf pack surrounding the basketball. The first round, start. Guanyu versus the Elite Alliance. The holographic broadcast exploded, and the red light swept over the starting line. Guanyu pushed up the oil door, and the iron blood pusher sprayed the blue flame, inserted into the deformed belt, and the shoe belt crushed the alloy ground crunched and crisped. However, Giant Pain's Thunder King has taken charge of the attack, the particle cannon is about to be developed, the Alliance armor is scattered simultaneously, and the fog shadow key releases the virus and the fog is like a tide. Boy, I'll send you to the ground. Giant Pain's ridicule was sent from the open channel, full of viciousness. Union, gather the iron blood numbers. The virus fog has no core. In an instant, 5 fogs gathered into huge waves, gray thin gauzes wrapped around the iron blood numbers, and the warning was harsh, the fog virus invades. Energy the decline was reduced by 25%, and the mechanical arm regulating should be delayed. Guanyu's vision was twisted, and the manipulation rod was stuck in the mud, and the belt was transformed and added to the drama. The ground in front was raised into a sharp wall, reaching 10 meters high, the thorns flashed like a spear forest, and the side wings collapsed into deep penis, and the sound of the burning smell of the bulging electric hydration in the middle made his stomach turn. The high pressure was like an invisible iron clamp that pressed his chest, and a silk watch flashed in his heart. Dad's hatred was so close that he was suppressed by the Alliance. But he gritted his teeth and threw it away, pushing the rod side. The iron blood number avoided the first spike, and the debris rubbed through the shell and made a sizzling sound. The arm of the Thorn Fort extended out of the alloy network, and the test network was used to catch the iron blood. The electric horn shot from a high altitude and shot the laser light, and the wings on the side of the ghost blade approached in a shaped manner. Stop, Guanyu. The ground belt transformation prediction. There are weak spots behind the sharp wall, and it can stop changing when hit. Dio's voice started from the communication device, and the language that monitored the overall situation was as stable as an acquaintance, and the background was the tick sound of data flow. I scanned the Alliance's fog source. Giant Pain's Thunder King is new, but don't fight hard. Break first. Guanyu pointed his head, sweat blurred his eyes. Thank you, instructor. I can feel that this mist looks like my dad's trap that year, but I won't repeat it. The iron blood rose and the carpet was arcing in the air, but the virus mist invaded, the core movement was shaking, and the robot arm was waving and swaying. He felt the energy was lost like an hourglass. Just as the spike wall approached and was about to swallow the iron blood, the blue light in the energy core suddenly exploded simultaneously, dying violently like a heart, reaching the nerve link. Simultaneous upgrade touch development, high energy mode delock of the mechanical arm. Energy cannon is ready for blasting. A pure heat flow penetrates into the right arm. Guanyu sense alloy layer reshaped like a boiling tide. The gun barrel extends into a multi-tube array. A high-energy lattice floats on the surface, and a buzzing blue arc is buzzing. The high-pressure absolute turns into a reversal, and he instinctively guides energy from the anger of revenge to the current cold calculation. His skills are as sharp as the peak. Open the way! Guanyu growled and pressed the trigger. High-energy energy cannons are closed. The first blue beam hits the base of the sharp wall, the alloy bursts like a volcanic spray, and the debris are like rain. The locks react and touch the second and third beams, accurately cutting the weak points. The wall collapses into a smoke storm, the arc and the heat waves intersect, the belts change and stop, and the entire area starts the path of kings. The live broadcast audience was in full swing, and the screen was crazy, cloud blast. The Iron Blood King came to the scene, and the Alliance was stunned. Thorn Fort was pushed open by a wave, the outer shell melted, and the driver's curse continued to be transmitted from the channel. This high-energy mode is impossible. Alliance armor reorganization. The fog shadow key sprays more virus fog, gray thin like a giant net tightening. Giant Pain's Thunder King particle cannon fired, and the flames were fired on the road. Don't be proud, boy. The fog source increases, snail him. Giant Pain roared, the electric flushed laser rain pot descending, and the ghost blade hit the shaped side. Although the high-energy arm of the iron blood number is strong, the fog virus penetrates the core edge and makes the movement unstable. Guanyu's vision is blurred again, and the collapse of the deep and clean edge pulls the body like a black hole. The virus is too dense. I can't hold it back. He gasped, his heart turning like a flash. Revenge has moved me, but now, I want to protect Jingjing's trust, Dio's teachings, and the hope of the bottom. This peak skill is not for hatred, but for them. Guanyu. The fog virus encryption layer is too thick. I am optimizing the star, but the pressure is high. The system has been reflected, and I am afraid I can't keep up. Jingjing's voice came from the aid channel, carrying a rare trembling, and the image popped out of her face. Her short hair stuck to the head, her eyes were staring at the holographic screen, and her fingers were dancing slightly. As the buzzing sound of the repair station, she bit her lip. The source of the alliance is dynamic. I may not be able to handle it. Guanyu's heart tightened, and under the pressure, he pushed the rod to avoid the laser, and his body was lying deep and purified, and the sound was poured into the wall like a ghost crying. Jingjing, listen to me. He responded, his voice calmly, you have saved me countless times since the preheat competition, and the skewers have not yet made any reservations. Pressure? Let's carry it together, just like you share my pain. Trust me, your optimization is the wings of the iron blood. Take a deep breath and come slowly. I keep it. You. His words were like a warm current. Jingjing's image was stunned, her eyes flashed with warm light. Guanyu. Thank you. You always feel like this, making me feel unstoppable. Okay, I'm stable. Optimize the upper line, and the stars are injected in at once. Her fingers accelerated, and the green data flowed out like an arrow, entering the iron blood system. As the star fuses the core blue light, Guanyu feels a surge of reaction energy surges in, and the viral fog disintegrates in the green-blue tangle. The gray-thin gray is melting like ice and snow, and the code fragments evaporate into harmless sparks. The delete mode is fully opened, the reaction increases 150%. The system prompts the system, the high-energy mechanical arm is buzzing, and the energy cannon is charged like a flash. Guanyu locked the Alliance's armor group, pushing up the oil door to the direct thrust. Now, take this move. The locked energy cannon exploded again, and this time the rebound amplitude was injected. The beam spread like a blue thunder network, and the fog source of the fog shadow key was accurately hit. The fog armor exploded into a fireball, and the debris were like a fire 4 times. After sweeping over the Thorn Fort, the alloy net melted, and the driver was amazed and rushed into the deep penis. The electric turtle and the ghost blade tried to avoid the picture, but the amplification beam was rumbling and chasing. The laser and the invisible outer shell disintegrated, the locks burst. Down like domino, the 4 Alliance armor groups scattered, the flames swept the sky, and the earth shook the foul. Live screaming, catch the Alliance. Jingjing God assists, the iron blood number is invincible. Giant Pain's Thunder King was isolated, his particle cannon shot missed, and the Nami shield flashed unstable. Diet. How do you delete the source of the fog? He roared, panic coming out for the first time in his voice. Dio's prediction was added in time. Giant Pain retreated, the first round road opened, using the change of waves to accelerate, and directly blocked the final point. Guanyu pointed at the head, the iron blood number was forward at high speed, the high-energy arm was output stably, and the skill peak was as natural as flowing water. From the flame of revenge to the guarding shield, this turn made him feel that the armor was like an extended limb. I am so frank and short-sighted in my heart, Dad. I no longer fight for hatred, I will protect everyone. This high pressure made me difficult. The iron blood number is at the end of the final point of the first round, and the holographic screen flash. Guanyu is out. The audience shouted like a sea of people, and the screen was flooded with the screen, the road to the king. The legend of the contour. In the communication device, Jingjing's smile sounded, with a relaxed joy. Guanyu, we won the first round. Your encouragement made me calm. Partner relationship? Not only that, we are family. Dio added, good boy. The overall monitoring shows that Giant Pain's single pick is about to approach, but his back door is exposed. The Thunder King's assistant core, there is a black market loophole. But private messages pop up, and a clip of intrusion. The host smiled high level. Has the first round passed? Accelerate the final plan. Giant Pain system picked military-level viruses, erased Guanyu, and made a contract online. The financial group's eyes were staring. The rogue layer appeared, like a gray fog reunion. Guanyu clenched his fists and looked at the shadow of the Thunder King deep in the race. The sound of a single clock is about to knock on a more intense storm. Terms, 1249. The single area deep in the track was like a waking beast. The alloy ground began to move low and crunch with metal fatigue. The air was filled with the sour smell of virus fog and the stinky sulfur scent from the ground, which made Guanyu's throat dry slightly. The cries on the audience were like thunderstorms far away, and they rushed into the driving wheels through the hologram screen, mixing the buzzing of the wind and the buzzing of the energy field, which made the lights of the display flicker in the darker. The iron blood numbers stopped at the single lifting point. The blue core movement was as rapid as the heartbeat. The high-energy crystal lattice of the mechanical arm was flushed. Guanyu wiped the sweat from the head and looked at the Thunder King on the opposite island. The big thing has been repaired. The Nanami shield is reborn like a blue water curtain. The particle cannon door is opened, and Giant Pain's face is twisted into a grim smile in the projection. Boy, it's just a rush. Now, single pick. Let you taste the black market final code, the black hole code, swallowing your iron blood. Giant Pain's voice exploded from the open channel, full of crazy pleasure. The red light swept over and the single click sound knocked. Holographic broadcast announcement. In the middle of the game, the collapse of the simulated war starts. The track of the game changed in an instant. The ground raised like a living creature. Simulated earthquake waves exploded from deep wells. Alloy plates cracked into winding deep penis, and virus torrents were sprayed in the cracks. Gray-black data vortexes like mudslides, countless code fragments flashed red light like sharp teeth, and the system was swallowed by touching. The earthquake wave after wave, the platform swayed like a drunken air, and the edge guardrail collapsed into pieces and fell like rain. The hot waves and the electric arc intersected, making Guanyu's vision drama shaking violently. This, simulation war? It's so real. He lowered his curse, pushed up the oil door, and the iron blood slammed to avoid the first rift, and walked in the air to arc, but the torrent of viruses had come after him like a tide. The warning was made, Torrent invades. Energy decay accelerates, and the core movement is unstable. The Thunder King of Giant Pain was descending from the floating island, and the particle cannons burst into a basin like a rain of fire, slamming the track to create more cracks. Ha, swallow it, black hole code. He roared, helping the core flash black light, and an ultimate virus open like a black hole, sprang out from the Thunder King's portal. The black hole code is like an invisible giant mouth, twisting the space to pull the iron blood number. The data vortex swallows no surrounding alloy, the ground collapses into deep penis, and virus fragments cut the outer shell like sharp blades, sparks 4 times. Guanyu's system flickered wildly, and the slammed and swollen iron blood stumbled. The slumbered sound of rubbing sounds on his right arm, making him sweat heavily. Don't die, this black hole. Dad was pulled into the end of the world by something similar to that year. Panic was like a cold touch, and the earthquake waves blew up the iron blood. The torrent of the virus flowed out from the cracks, the gray-black vortex hit the machine, and the durability straight line dropped to 45%. The debris of the Alliance armor flew from afar and smashed on the track to collapse. He fought alone and felt the whole world collapse. Revenge is so close that it collapses like a sand castle. Can I hold it? The inner self is as if nothing has happened. No, this is not the end. Dad's aspiration, Jingjing's trust, Dio's teachings. I'm not fighting for myself, I'm a hero. The slug stormed like a steel iron. Guanyu gritted his teeth and pulled the rod, and his body flicked from the edge of the black hole, and the blue light core suddenly burst out, dying violently like the sun, reaching the nerve link. Dire power explosion mode unlocking, robotic arm defense attack upgrade 1 piece. The high energy protection shield is spread, and the energy cannon penetration mode is activated. A stream of burning energy flows into the right arm. Guanyu senses that the alloy layer merges like a liquid, and a blue shield grid appears on the surface. At the same time, the gun barrel stretches into a squid, buzzing with the accumulated pure blue light. The panic retreated, replaced by the awakened heroic spirit. He was no longer a bottom boy, but a guardian. Go to your torrent. Guanyu growled and pressed the trigger. High-energy energy cannon fire, the blue light beam shot out like a sharp sword, first hitting the virus torrent. The shield net spreads into a blue dome, holding the gray and black vortex to swallow, and the debris evaporate on the internet into sparks. The light beam continues to move forward, accurately diamonds into the depth of the earthquake cracks, locking the torrent source, a hidden simulated core point. Red light swells like a heart. Rush! The blasting burst shocked the whole scene. The cracks were like volcanic sprays, the blue light teared deep and purified, the virus torrent collapsed against the current, the gray and black data evaporated like smoke, the seismic waves stopped, and the race was stable. Live viewers screamed and the screen was swept wildly, weight through the cracks. The Iron Blood God is upgraded, the torrent is destroyed. Giant Pain's Thunder King was pushed open by the waves, and the black hole code was twisted. Impossible. Why did you break the source? He roared, and his voice was shocked for the first time. But the black hole virus has not stopped. It expands like a giant beast, swallowing the surrounding platforms, pulling the iron blood toward the deep penis. The durability dropped to 28%, Guanyu's vision was blurred again, and the earthquake caused the driving storm to shake violently, and the debris fell like rain. Jing jing. The black hole is too strong, my core can't be held back. He switched the auxiliary channel, and his voice was quick. Jing Jing's image popped up. She was in front of the repair station, with red eyes and short hair, holding the fusion end in her hand. Guanyu, I'm trying to fuse your core data, but black hole encryption is military level. Her voice was trembling, and the background was the collapse of the data flow. I'm afraid of failure, which will tickle you. But I can't put you down. From the preheat game to the present, you make me believe in myself. I support you, not just an ally. I love you. This relationship will make me fight to the end. Confession is like a warm current hitting the center. Guanyu's heart is hot, and his heroic spirit is even more certain. Jing Jing, thank you, your love is my shield. Let's fuse, let's delete it together. At this moment, Dio's voice in the communication continued to sound, and the sand was silenced in the wind. Boy. I've finally gotten into the office. The black hole source is the military contract test product they controlled. But, the virus backfired my virtual projection, and I can't hold it back. The image popped up, Dio's virtual projection flashed in the data stream, the gray-white hair dissipated like a smoke, and the eyes were full of determination. Hear well, the story of the animal, the weakness of a black hole is frequency resonance. Using your core movement to move, Jing Jing's fusion data will open the way. The last lesson I teach you, hero, is not that you are not afraid of death, but that is, to catch the way. Go and reveal the truth. The projection suddenly collapsed, and the black hole virus swallowed it like a black hand. Dio's laughter resounded. Dad will be proud. Guanyu's eyes were wet, and his heart was burning like a fire. Instructor. No. The unpulled will wake up, and he pushed the rod hard, and the iron blood shield opened, rushing towards the edge of the black hole. Dio, I'll save you. Projected data, transmitted. The fusion data of the crystal are like green flash injection, intersecting with the core blue light, and the metal arm is buzzing and flourishing. Fused successfully. The delete mode is fully opened, and the backlash is ready. Guanyu locked the center of the black hole, the energy gun switched to the plug mode, and the blue light counterclockwise frequency impulse. A golden blue wave ejected out, first passing through the edge of the black hole, and the shield held it to swallow it. The waves spread out, the resonance was weak, the virus vortex shattered like glass, and the data fragments backfired against the current, heading straight for the Thunder King. Giant Pain's system warning was harsh and explosive. Black hole collapses. Backfire. No! The Thunder King's nano shield melted, helping the core to explode, and the body was violently destroyed. The pusher broke, the particle cannon door exploded, the flames blew into the sky, and the alloy fragments fell like rain. The Thunder King stepped back and Giant Pain's curse continued. Diet. You destroyed my armor. The financial group won't hate you. The impact of the collapsed visual effect was shocked, and the live broadcast was boiling, back against Giant Pain. Dio's love for the victim, the gods turned over. Guanyu gasped and pulled back the iron blood. Dio's projection film was reorganized in the system, weak and flickering. Boy, saved. Your impulse will make me see the hero. Jingjing's image shone brightly. Guanyu, we won this wave. I love you, and will always support you. The inner growth was like a blue light. I no longer trembled when facing the collapse of my face. This heroic spirit was tempered from inferiority and was born for protection. The game is stable, but the private message of the holographic screen flashing a clip of Dio's death entering. The host is at the black market base with a high level. The source of the virus is all in my hands. Giant Pain is just a chess piece. Decide the final game, start the ultimate control, erase Guanyu, and the military contract is on the line. The core of the Yin appears, like a black hole rebirth. Guanyu holds tightly and controls, looking at the final light at the end of the game. The storm has not stopped, and the sound of the final conflict is about to be knocked. Number of words, 1247. The ultimate speed ring at the end of the racetrack is like a twisted blue vortex, narrowing into a deadly ring with a straight diameter of only 50 meters. The alloy edges are flashing against the high-pressure energy network, and when it deviates slightly, it will disintegrate, and it will penetrate into a deep and clean anti-gravity field. The virus whirls like gray-black dragon winds spiral in the circle, and the fragments rotate like sharp ice blades to cut the air, making a harsh hissing, scattered with the burnt smell of electricity and the sweet smell of melting metal, making Guanyu's nose burn like fire. The audience held their breath and focused. The holographic live broadcast lens locked the two machines tightly, and the screen was flooded like a rainstorm. It's the end. Can the iron blood function be the god? Giant Pain's Thunder King transformed and strengthened, dangerous. The iron blood signal stopped at the corner of the circle, the blue core moved like a wild heart, the shield net of the mechanical arm was slightly swelled, and the durability was only 22%. Guanyu's double-handed hand was tightly clamped and his fingers were white. The single pick of the waves made him ears endlessly. Dio's projection film flashed in the system, and Jingjing's confession was like a warm current of Juan's heart, but he knew that this was the last try. Father's wronged soul and family honor were all in this circle. Boy, the ultimate circle is activated. The black hole killing virus will amplify the vortex. Giant Pain's Thunder King has changed shape, with a double-arm fused particle cannon, and the shield is upgraded to the military level. Dio's projection sound continued to rise, and the weak is as sharp as a knife. Strategy: don't directly rush, circle and predict the weak point. His assistant core is on the right shoulder. If you hit it, the shield will break. Remember my words, I won. Afterwards, don't just take revenge and build a new maintenance station to teach those bottom-level kids to drive. The future is yours. Guanyu's heart warmed, and Dio's promise illuminated the fatigue like a light tower. Teacher, I'll promise you. I'll win, let's build together to give my dad a home. The interaction was like a short breath, which made him pull back from the collapse and turn into a strange wheel. The red light flashed, and the final clock sounded, the final sound of the game. The decision begins. The iron blood pusher sprayed the blue flame, inserted into the speed ring, and the shoe belt glided around the energy network, making a sizzling arc sound. But Giant Pain's Thunder King has changed wildly. The machine body alloy plates are reorganized like living creatures, the arms are stretched into giant particle knives, the surface is covered with black and red virus patterns, the shield water curtain is thick like a city wall, and the engine tail flame is like a fire. Ha ha ha. Guanyu, your father thought he could win that year, but what was the result? The black hole was killed and swallowed him. Giant Pain's roar exploded from the channel, full of hysterical madness. The transformation is strengthened, the knife is hit. The virus whirlpools, killing the iron blood number. The Thunder King leaned down then, the arm of the knife danced like a dead god, cutting the air and blew a deep hum. At the same time, the black hole virus was injected into the whirlpool, and the gray-black dragon stormed several times. The ice blade was like a rainstorm basin. It wiped the outer shell of the iron blood, and sparked a series of sparks, and the durability dropped to 15%. Guanyu's vision swayed, and the vortex pulled the machine body and rushed towards the energy net. The knife arm approached, and the hot waves were roasted like fire. He tugged and manipulated the rod, and the iron blood signal flicked to avoid it, but the virus ice blade pierced into the system, and the warning was harsh: Verk invades. The robot arm is loaded, and the energy decline is reduced. Panic is like a sunset, and the dad's machine screen flashed into the brain. The flame of revenge once burned everything, but now, it is beginning to relax. It is not hatred that can end all this, but guard it. No. I'm surpassing. Guanyu growled, his heart turning like a blue light bursting, turning from the boy's slander to a strange face. He relaxed the shackles of revenge, feeling the power flowing back like a tide. The energy core is fully upgraded and touched. The blue light is as strong as the sun, and it moves straight to every inch of the alloy. Extremely limited mode unlocking, the mechanical arm outputs 1000%, and the energy cannon is overloaded and penetrates. A pure heat flow penetrates into the right arm. Guanyu feels that the limbs and the armor melt into one. The alloy layer is boiling and reshapes. The gun barrel stretches into an extreme limit state. The surface lattice is flashing in white, and the buzzing bird is like thunder. It's great, giant pain. This is the limit of the iron blood number. Guanyu shouted and pressed the trigger. The energy cannon's extreme output spray, a white-blue light shot out like a meteor, hitting the Thunder King's right shoulder to assist the core. The light splatters tear the virus vortex, and the ice blade evaporates into the fire and rain in the white heat, and penetrates the shield and water curtain. The explosion visual effect shocked the whole scene. The water curtain was like shattered glass, the fragments were like diamonds in rain basins, which helped the core to explode. The fireball swept across the sky, the Thunder King's deformed arms twitched and lost control. The knife swung onto the energy network, the arc whipped the body of the machine like a whip. Giant Pain screamed and said, "The shield is destroyed. You should die. How can you aim for the weak point?" The live broadcast screen exploded. Extremely limited cannon. Destroy the shield, the iron blood signal legend. Giant Pain panicked. Guanyu's ranking rose, and the extreme limited output made the iron blood signal stable in the circle, and sweat slipped, but he laughed. From the boy who was inferior to this moment, I had changed. Revenge is no longer a shackle, but a fuel for moving forward. Giant Pain was unwilling to rebel. The Thunder King engine passed the thunderbolt, and the sword arm was swept wildly. The virus vortex was controlled into a giant dragon. The gray and black wind swallowed no speed circle. The data fragments cut the track like wild wind. The alloy edges disintegrated into pieces of rain, and the heat waves and electricity intersected, making the circle look like a bulge. Boy, have you destroyed my shield? Then just do it. The vortex is open and control the track. Giant Pain roared, and the Thunder King diamonded into the core of the vortex, and the black-red path flashed. He tried to reverse the energy network, forcing the iron blood number to deviate from the track. Guanyu's system warned again, Verm controls the track. The durability dropped to 8%, and the edges collapsed. The knife arm rubbed over the outer shell, and long fire marks were drawn. The pain sensation penetrated the nerve link into the arm. He gritted his teeth to avoid it, but the vortex pulled like an invisible giant hand. The energy net approached, and the electric arc was sizzling. Guanyu. The source of the vortex virus is in Giant Pain's engine. I will finally optimize it, the ultimate star, inject into your core. Jingjing's voice burst out from the communication device, and the image popped out of her face. Her eyes were red, her hair was sweaty, and the lights at the repair station reflected her white face, but her eyes were filled with eyes. It's like a steal. I love you. From the skewers to the present, this optimization is all about me. Delete it, reverse control, and let Giant Pain suffer the consequences. Her fingers danced in the holographic keyboard, and the green data flowed like the last flashing into the iron blood number, fused to the blue core, and turned into a metal star spiral. Guanyu felt the system like a new life, and his mechanical arm buzzed and responded, Jingjing, thank you. We will build that repair station together in the future to teach everyone to fly. He responded, and his heart was warm, and the growth of the transformation allowed him to surpass his limits. he was no longer a lonely wolf who revenges, but a strange leader. Now, reverse. Guanyu locked the vortex core, the energy cannon switched to the removal mode, and the metal slammed out. First pass through the gray-black storm, the star swallowed data fragments like a virus star, the ice blade disintegrated into harmless sparks, and the vortex side rotated backwards. The spiral directly hit the giant pain engine, accurately deleted the source head. The black-red road shattered like a spider net, the torrent of viruses retaliated against the Thunder King, the gray and black dragon whipped the body like a whip, giant pain's system collapsed. Verm reversal? No, my control. The Thunder King lost control and rotated, and the knife arm swung and hit the energy net. The arc exploded like a thunderstorm, and the body was pushed by the vortex toward the road barrier. The alloy spike forest in the extreme circle popped out from the ground, reaching 8 meters high, with a flash of red light. Giant Pain tried to lift the picture, but the vortex pressed down like a giant hand. The Thunder King hit the thorn forest, pierced the outer shell, the flames penetrated the sky, the alloy fragments were like smoke, the engine overloaded and exploded, the plane turned over and rolled into the deep edge. Giant Pain's cry continued. Financial Group. Save me. Live broadcast, reverse control. Giant Pain self-destruction, the Iron Blood God was removed. Guanyu's durability was stable, the path inside the circle opened, and the Guanyu finally lighted in sight. The Iron Blood number stopped at the sturdy ring. Guanyu was in the seat, gasping for relaxation. The blue light fades, but the inner soul changes like eternal eternity, from a young man to a stranger, resurrecting hatred and relieving the peace of mind, replaced by the guardian peace. Dad, I won, not for hatred, but for the future. In the communication device, Jingjing's smile sounded, with a slight meaning. Guanyu, we did it. I love you. Dio's projection reorganization said, boy, promise. Go, hero. The holographic screen flashed, Guanyu ranked first, and the champion was in sight. But the private message popped up, and the host's high-level emergency conversation clip. In the black market base, the figure in the shadow slandered, Giant Pain failed? Finally, the virus's mother source is opened, erase the Iron Blood number. The military contract cannot be broken. The collapse of the shattering, the red light from the mother source slammed deep into the race. Guanyu clenched his fist, the Iron Blood number engine was low, and the wind finally gathered again. The final race circle suddenly roared like a wild beast, and the alloy ground was exploding and sharp-toned, and the energy field at the entire dome burst out. The blue-purple arc burst out from the edge like a mad python, twisting the air into a paste heat wave. The burning ozone smell filled the rotten acid of the fog of the virus, which straightened Guanyu's nasal cavity, making him unable to help but dry it. The cries in the audience instantly turned into screams, the holographic live broadcast lens was shaking, and the curtain was like an avalanche. Superload mode. Is the race going to collapse? The virus mother source is fully opened, and the Iron Blood is in danger. The Iron Blood signals display flashed red light, with only 8% durability left. The blue light core movement is like a dying piercing. The surface of the lattice of the mechanical arm is cracked and the buzzing sound is as low as a morning sign. Guanyu tightly grasps the rod, sweat soaks his back. Looking at the doomsday scene in the circle, the source of the virus flows out from deep clefts. The torrent of gray and black data merges with the barrier, the alloy spike forest twists into living vines, the surface is full of red virus patterns, twisting and stretching like a giant python. The edge of the energy net disintegrates into a whirlpool sea of electricity, melting everything when touched. The tracks swallow up the debris like the earth, the heat waves roll, and the debris fall off the driving like rain. Boy, this is the ultimate control of the host. The mother source is a black market military virus, the fusion barrier becomes a doomsday mode, and specializes in erasing threats. Dio's projection sound continued to rise, with urgency in the weak, and the image flashed like a ghost in the data stream. Giant Pain is just a chess piece, their agreement is to sell the virus to the army, control the competition test. Quickly, slid around the circle, don't be straight. Guanyu's heart sank to the bottom of the valley, pushing the rod side, and the Iron Blood belt slid around the sea of electricity, sizzling arcs rubbing through the shell, and the pain sensation penetrated the nerve link like a sting. Teacher, I can feel that this mother source is like my dad's nightmare, but I won't let it happen again. He growled, his voice trembling and calm, and his heart was filled with chills. When the road to revenge was as close as possible, he found a bigger black hand, and it turned out that everything was a chess game. Just as the iron blood was about to be pricked by the vine spikes, Giant Pain's Thunder King emerged from the depths of the vortex. The body of the aircraft was half destroying. The nanny shield was broken like rags, and the engine tail flames continued to spray black smoke, but the double-arm knife arm fused the parent virus, and the surface was covered with gray and black markings, flashing red light like the claws of a demon. Guanyu. You destroyed everything. Giant Pain's roar exploded from the open channel, full of crazy hatred, and his face twisted into a ghost in the projection. That year, your father won the championship and defeated our family's military contract. The financial group forced my father to do his own job, and I swear to kill you Guanyu's family. This self-destructive attack is the final grudge. The mother's source is fully opened, and we will do the same. Thunder Ting Wangxingqing passed by the rushing bird, and his knife arm danced like a dead god, cutting the path of virus vines to create, and directly sucking iron blood. At the same time, the torrent of the mother source sprayed out from its core, fusion barriers became giant doomsday scenery, spike vines flooded like tides, the sea of electricity turned into waves, the entire road collapsed, the debris fell like stone rain, and the hot waves blurred Guanyu's vision. Don't die, self-destruction mode. Dad's accident turned out to be a grudge. Guanyu cursed, the iron blood number stumbled, the knife arm rubbed over the left shoulder, the alloy plate torn, sparked 4 times, and the durability machine dropped to 3%. Panic was like a dark tide. Guanyu's brain flashed the old days of the family, the smile of his father and the purity of his mother. Everything was destroyed. But just as the torrent of the parent source was about to swallow no iron blood, the blue light core suddenly appeared like a volcano erupting, and the entire system loaded fusion touch. The ultimate fusion mode is unblocked. The robotic arm artifact evolved, and the energy cannon was cleaned in a large area. A pure white-blue energy was like the body was like lava. Guanyu felt that his body was melted into one with the iron blood. The alloy layer of the mechanical arm was reborn like a living creature, with artifact-level crystal ducts floating on the surface, flashing colorful light bulbs, and the gun barrel stretched into a giant arc-shaped array, and the buzzing sounded like a divine thunder roll. This power, Dad's ambition. He murmured, his heart turning like a flash. It is no longer the flame of revenge, but the calmness of the heart, relieving it from hatred, embracing a new life. Push the front of the rod, the iron blood number penetrates into the center of the doomsday scenery, and press the end puller. The energy cannon was cleared and fired. The white-blue arc spreads into the circle like a god's knife, and accurately cuts the viral vines. The spikes disintegrate like dead grass, and the gray and black pattern evaporates into sparks in the arc. The arc continues to sweep the sea of electricity, the waves shatter like glass, and the fragments evaporate into harmless mist. The torrent of the parent source was cleared, the data vortex reversed, the doomsday scenery torn apart like a scroll. The track of the race stabilized, and the 4 pieces of debris became smoldering. The live broadcast audience was boiling and screaming like a sea. Artificial artifact arm. Clear the whole scene, the iron blood number is the god. Giant Pain's Thunder King was pushed open by the waves, the knife arm melted, and the body was scattered. Impossible. How do you merge the mother source? He roared, and his voice was filled with shock and hope. But the self-destruction attack has not stopped. The core of Thunder King's engine is prosperous. The virus is storming like a self-destruction. The knife arm is out of control and swings. The test draws the iron blood number and the same as the deep clean. Jing jing. Da-yo. The self-destruction virus is too fierce. I cleared the barrier, but the backlash of the mother source is coming. Guanyu switched the channel and the sound was rapid. Jing Jing's image popped up. In front of the repair station, her eyes were flashing with light and joy. The end of her hand was buzzing like a war drum. Guanyu, I am connected with Dio. His projection data merged with my star, and finally the removal program was online, reversed and destroyed, and countered Giant Pain. Dio's projection was reopened. Now, the weak laughed and said, "Boy, our team, the pen of God. Inject it, let the grudge end." Green data flowed into the iron blood numbers like a dragon, fusing with the artifact arm. Guanyu's sense system was like a newborn, and the robotic arm was buzzing and flourishing. The removal mode is extremely limited, and the reverse rotation is ready. Go! Guanyu locked the Thunder King engine and pressed the bullet key. The golden-blue swelling sprayed out, first reversed from the red light. The virus retaliated against Giant Pain's core like a countercurrent. The knife arm was stiff and out of control, and the engine overflowed and disintegrated into a fireball. The squirt continued to penetrate, deleted the mother's source, and the gray and black torrent evaporated into harmless smoke, and the counterattack hits the Thunder King's chest. The body tore like paper, and the alloy fragments were like rain. Giant Pain's contempt was rumored. No. Family grudges. The Thunder King turned the wall into the deep and deep purity, exploded and fire broke into the sky, and the race was finally calm. Live broadcast screen crazy, the god of movement has been removed. Giant Pain has failed, the Iron Blood Crown Army. The Iron Blood numbers stopped at the end. Guanyu gasped and opened the door, rushed out of the driving force, and when he stepped on the alloy ground, the whole field was yelling like a thunderstorm. Jingjing pulled out of the repair channel and straightened her into him. Her short hair rubbed against his shoulder, and her voice choked and she was happy. "Guanyu, we won. Your artifact arm is so bad. I hug this victory because of you." She hugged him tightly, and the water slid down. Guanyu gently slapped her back and smiled. "Jingjing, thank you for your love and support. A new life begins here." Dio's projection appeared and he patted his shoulder. "Boy, it's great. The grudge ends, and the hero is born." But Guanyu turned his head and looked at the high platform of the main office. In the shadows there, the high-level figure fled. The holographic screen suddenly entered, and Dio's remaining data was released on the air. The screen of the black market base flashed, and the host talked with the Giant Pain family. The source of the virus is military experiment. The grand competition is a cover, controlling the risers of the bottom layer, and selling them to the financial group for contract. Guanyu's family exposed the old news that year. We slandered. The truth was like a blowout, and the whole audience was disgusted, and the audience roared. The chant is exposed. Hero Guanyu. Guanyu clenched his fists, and his heart was as innocent as clear as a wind. "Dad, I'm worried. The hatred of the past turns into strength, and I embrace the future. Build a repair station, teach driving, and protect peace." The host Gao Lai was taken away by the security guard. Giant Pain crawled out of his slaughter and knelt down and lowered his head. "Guanyu. I'm wrong with grudges. The family has destroyed us all." Guanyu approached and stretched out his hand to pull him up. His voice was calm. "Giant Pain, forgive you. If you walk out of hatred, we can all be reborn." Giant Pain was stunned, and the water slid down, and he pointed at him. "Thank you. Thank you." The champion award came over, and the blue light reflected the iron blood. The Guanyu lifted it up, and the whole scene was filled with excitement. Heroes are born. The strange Guanyu. A new life is like the lights on the top of the race, shining brightly. Terms, 1242. The prize platform under the dome is like a giant crystal castle, floating in the blue energy field at the core of the city. The lights fall like broken stars, reflecting the high figure of the iron blood. The surface of the armor is no longer scratched, the nano-alloy layer is flashing with colorful light, and the energy core on the chest is moving with permanent blue light, like an unsweetened heart, warm and stable. The air was filled with the smell of congratulations and the fresh ozone of electricity, and the audience's cry rolled over like waves, and hundreds of people witnessed this moment through the holographic screen. Guanyu stood on the shoulder platform of the Iron Blood number, with the prize cup in his hand, and the metal surface was engraved with the Year Armor Championship. His uniform was soaked in sweat, and his smile was as bright as the dawn. Giant Pain knelt down the stage, and the broken fragments of the Thunder King were scattered all over the ground. The head office Gao Lai had been taken away by the security guard, and his face was blue. After the truth was revealed, the whole scene's anger turned into a thunderous palm. "Guanyu. Iron Blood no. A strange life. Guanyu took a deep breath, and the blue light came into his eyes. His heart was as white as a clear wind. I have changed too much from the broken bullet armor on the street to this prize platform. Dad, the moment you got lost that year, I thought the world was over. Low self-esteem is like a shackle, revenge is like a flame, and I am almost lost. But now, this core is not a gold finger, but a lens reflecting my growth, from a bottom-level boy to a guardian. The revival family's glory is not to destroy others, but to illuminate more people. Guanyu, congratulations. Jingjing was on the platform from the bottom of the stage, her short hair was flying in the wind, and the engineering suit was still stained with the oil of the optimization tools. She swept into him, hugged her tightly, and her voice choked and happy. Your artifact arm, that's the ultimate clean, so shocking. The source of the virus is completely destroyed, and the race is as stable as a rock. I thought we were determined, but you always turn backwards. Her eyes flashed with a slight light, and her palm pressed the alloy of the iron blood number on her palm, and the blue light reflected the shadows of the two people, melting into one. Guanyu gently shook her back and smiled. Jingjing, I'll have collapsed without your star in love. From the preheated skewers agreement, this is not the end, it's the beginning. Let's optimize the iron blood number together to make it fly higher. She pointed her head and her face was slightly red. Well, I'll be my partner. In the future, I will help you build a repair station and teach those basic kids skills to guests. Love you, Guanyu. The two of them laughed at each other, and the emotion was like the core movement, warm and eternal. Below the stage, Dio walked over with a crutch, his gray hair flashed under the light, and the projection film was completely reorganized. He patted Guanyu on the shoulder, and his voice was loud and loud. Boy, you're pretty. Before I retired that year, I was also standing on this stage, but I didn't have the legend of you. The poison has been eradicated, the shady scenes of the main office have been exposed, and the competition will be reorganized fairly. I heard that the Alliance has conquered their military contract, and the bottom-level drivers have more opportunities. Tio passed by an old data chip, and his final driving experience is in it. Transfer to you. Retreat. After the break, I went downstairs to open a small station to teach new people. Your mission will let me see myself that year. My dad's ambition has continued. Guanyu connected the chip and his eyes were moist. Teacher, thank you for your surviving information. When the projection collapsed, I thought, but you always stood in front. In the future, we will build a large station together to make the armor no longer a level lock. Dio laughed. Good. Go, the hero is not the end, it is a new road. He turned away, his back as stable as an old tree, and his inherited spirit is as bright as a blue light. Giant Pain was helped up by the security guard, his face was covered in blood, and the madness in his eyes had turned into a hole of remorse. He looked down at the dead body and murmured, Guanyu. I'm wrong. The grudges that year, since my father's generation, our Giant Pain family won a big game. The financial group forced us to implant viruses, which destroyed your father and my father's self-sufficiency. I thought revenge could save the family, but the result was a pawn. He took a deep breath, turned to the holographic lens, and said loudly, the dark side of the main party is all my evidence of revealing. The source of the virus is in the black market base in the East District. They sold it to the military to control the bottom layer of the competition. This time, I stand by you. A sound broke out in the crowd, and someone shouted, repent. Giant Pain, be punished. Guanyu walked off the stage and stretched out his hand. Giant Pain, forgive you. The grudges ended, and we can all be reborn from hatred. Join us and help reorganize the competition. Giant Pain held his hand and slid down. Thank you. I will. The family has been destroyed, but reborn, from here. The repentant interaction is like a bridge, connecting the past and the future, and the air in the game is refreshed. Looking back, Guanyu stood in the middle of the platform, and the blue light reflected his face. The laser network for preheating games, the first shot of the energy cannon exploded on the street, the virus backlash of the group of games, Jingjing's intrusion in reverse, the 8 strong mace shots, Dio's information opening, the 4 strong high-altitude guidance to overcome the fear of heights, the tunnel blasting in the semi-decisive games, strategic changes, the single-handedness of the game, the black hole collapses, the ultimate circle of the ultimate circle, the large range of the artifact arm erases the doomsday landscape. Every step is a footprint for growth. The pleasure is like a fire, and the final shock is particularly shocking. In the collapse of the mother source, the artifact arm of the iron blood number has a blue arc of white light, the crown and the push rod are straight, the energy cannon spreads like a divine thunder, cutting vines, evaporating electricity, removing torrents, and at the moment when the virus is eradicated, the track of the race is as calm as a new life. Giant Pain's self-destructive knife shattered in the shackles, the mother source fortress, the hidden holographic projection of the black market base disintegrated, and the military contract was turned into data gray. World peace began with this blow, the financial group collapsed, the virus technology was banned, the bottom layer rose like a tide, the machine game was reorganized for fair competition, and the heroes were no longer spoken, but accessible to everyone. Guanyu's heart is full, like a blue light forever, from the flame of revenge to the vast ocean. I won the hearts of the people, the audience's voice, Jingjing's love, Dio's inheritance, Giant Pain's repentance. Dad, Mom, the family is full of glory and prosperity. It is not a prize cup, but this kind of protection. The past inferiority complex turns into power, and the future is unlimited. He turned to Jingjing and said lightly, let's go, patrol the city, let them see the rebirth of the iron blood number. She pointed, and the 2 people entered the driving force. The iron blood number engine was rushing, and the blue flames were sprayed, and they rose up in the air. Over the city, iron blood numbers patrolled like a legendary giant horn, the blue light swept over the tower, passers-by raised their heads and shouted, heroes are here. Guanyu pushed his rod down the street, the energy cannon slightly adjusted to a light show, and the blue arc was like a rainbow, illuminating the alleys at the bottom. Jingjing adjusted the system in the secondary seat and smiled and said, it's been optimized for 100% permanent. Next adventure, go to the sidelines to use wild armor. Guanyu held her hand, well, together. The world is big, and the story begins. The iron blood number passed through the night sky, and the blue light was forever, indicating that there was no adventure. The legend, from here, will never end. Number of words, 1248.